planet. Millions of square miles of empty, unforgiving blue ocean. And right here, in the absolute middle of nowhere, lies a tiny, solitary speck of volcanic rock. For thousands of years, this island remained a ghost to the rest of the world, hidden by dense Pacific mists, battered by violent waves, and cut off from all human contact. But if you dare to step onto its dark shores, you are immediately confronted by something that defies human logic. Massive, frozen, geometric faces carved from cold volcanic stone. They stand in long, silent lineages along the coast. 900 heavy stone giants, turning their backs to the endless sea, staring blankly into the empty interior of the island. When you stand at their base, you realize the terrifying scale. These aren't just statues. They are monoliths up to 30 feet tall, weighing up to 80 tons. How did they get here? On Easter Sunday, 1722, a Dutch exploration ship cut through the heavy fog, accidentally stumbling upon this forgotten world. Admiral Jacob Roggeveen raised his telescope to his eye, expecting to see a primitive, wild land. Instead, his breath caught in his throat. He saw a skyline dominated by giants. But when the Europeans finally stepped ashore, the mystery turned into profound confusion. The island was a completely barren wasteland. No trees, no shade, just dried yellow grass. The human survivors they found were thin, malnourished, and living in absolute poverty. They possessed no horses, no wheels, and no metal tools. The sailors stood shocked. How could a starving, primitive society with no advanced technology construct the greatest megalithic wonders on planet Earth? Look closely into the empty, hollow eye sockets of these weathering giants. They hold a dark, ancient secret. Because mainstream history told us one story. But the physical evidence left on this dirt tells a completely different tale. Welcome to the Rapa Nui crime scene. To solve this ancient case, we must travel back to the source. Rano Raraku, a massive, hollowed-out volcanic crater that served as the island's only statue factory. Walk through these slopes, and you will see dozens of Moai giants still physically attached to the mountain bedrock, frozen in various stages of birth. Ancient stone carvers used nothing but a primitive stone hand chisel called a toki. Day after day, striking the raw volcanic tuff, chipping away milliliter by milliliter. Modern engineers calculated the math. To carve just one 80-ton statue using these stone tools would take a team of master craftsmen nearly a full year of continuous labor. But carving the giant was the easy part. The real nightmare was the logistics. Look at the terrain. Miles of rugged, jagged, uneven volcanic dirt and steep hills. Mainstream history claims that hundreds of men used brute human force, thick ropes, and pure sweat to drag these monoliths across the island. But think about the physics. Heavy wooden rollers under an 80-ton stone moving over rough dirt would immediately splinter into dust, crushing anyone nearby. When early explorers asked the tribal elders how their ancestors accomplished this impossible feat, the elders gave an answer that shocked them. They didn't talk about rollers, sleds, or thousands of slaves. They claimed the high priests used a mystical, sacred spiritual energy known as mana. They insisted that through the power of mana, the high priests commanded the stone giants to wake up, tilt back and forth, and literally walk across the island on their own. For centuries, modern science laughed at this myth, dismissing it as primitive superstition, until a group of rebellious researchers looked at the dirt roads. They realized that by tying ropes around the head and rocking the heavy statue, it naturally wobbles from side to side, stepping forward exactly like a human walking. The myth was factually true. The statues did walk, but this engineering success hid a fatal flaw that would ultimately destroy their entire world. As the centuries passed, something went horribly wrong at the statue factory. The entire operation didn't just stop, it was abandoned in a moment of pure panic. In the early 1900s, expeditions began digging around the famous giant heads sitting on the hillsides. As the shovels cleared away centuries of compacted sediment, the archaeologists gasped. The heads were just the tip of a massive historical iceberg. Deep underground, hidden in total darkness, lay massive, fully sculpted stone bodies, beautifully preserved by the soil. The statues had fully formed torsos, elongated arms, and delicate hands carved in low relief, resting precisely across their stone stomachs. And when they looked at the backs of these buried giants, they found complex ancient symbols, spirals, strange birdmen, and lines etched deeply into the stone. This changed everything. For soil to naturally accumulate 30 feet deep and bury an 80-ton standing statue up to its neck takes an immense amount of time. Some researchers believe these statues are thousands of years older than mainstream history admits. Were they buried by a sudden, catastrophic global flood? Or did the ancient Rapa Nui people intentionally bury their own gods to protect them from an incoming, unseen threat? Look at the sheer scale of these buried bodies. The deeper we dig into the soil of Easter Island, the more the traditional timeline of human history shatters into pieces. We aren't looking at a simple monument project. We are looking at an advanced, deeply spiritual society that was operating on a scale we can barely replicate today. But look closely at the crime scene. Why are so many statues still stuck in the quarry, completely unfinished? What caused the lights to go out? The answers lay not in the sky, but in the tragic destruction of the island's natural environment. To understand the end, we must see the beginning. Forensic ecology proves that Easter Island was not always a barren wasteland. It was once a literal paradise. Millions of giant prehistoric palm trees covered the hills, creating a lush, thriving ecosystem filled with diverse wildlife, clean water, and fertile soil. But as the Rapa Nui society grew, so did their terrifying obsession with building larger and larger stone gods. To move these walking giants, they needed an unimaginable amount of raw materials. One by one, the sharp obsidian axes began to strike the forest. They chopped down the giant palms for ropes, for transport tracks, and to clear land for an exploding population. They thought the paradise would last forever. By the year 1650, the last tree fell. The consequences were immediate and apocalyptic. Without tree roots to hold the soil, the heavy tropical rains washed the topsoil into the sea. The streams dried up. The agricultural fields turned into baked, cracked mud. Crops failed, and a merciless, brutal famine gripped the entire population. They looked to the ocean for fish, but they realized their fatal mistake. With no trees left, they couldn't build wooden canoes to leave the island. They were entirely trapped. Starvation drove the desperate islanders into dark, cold volcanic caves. Human bones found in these deep caverns show clear, horrifying signs of survival cannibalism. The sky turned dark with the smoke of a dying world. complex, highly advanced civilization had eaten its own future for the sake of stone monuments. As the people starved, they looked up at the hundreds of massive stone faces standing along the coast, smiling silently into the sky. The gods had taken everything from them, their trees, their soil, their future, and given absolutely nothing back. And that is when the sadness turned into pure, unadulterated rage. The social fabric broke. The island fractured into radical, warring clans. Torches illuminated the dark nights as desperate people prepared for total war. Villages were set ablaze. The ancient laws were thrown into the fire. But the warriors didn't just target each other. They targeted the source of their misery. They marched to the sacred stone platforms. In an act of ultimate defiance, they wrapped thick ropes around the necks of their own walking gods. With screams of anger and desperation, hundreds of people pulled together, tipping the massive 80-ton monoliths off their pedestals. The giants fell from the sky, crashing violently face-first into the jagged volcanic rocks below. The ground shook as the heavy stone faces fractured into pieces. This wasn't just a war between men. It was an execution of the gods. They intentionally broke the necks of the Moai to destroy their spiritual mana forever. The great statues that took centuries to build were systematically cast down into the mud, humiliated and broken by the very hands that carved them. By the time the Europeans arrived in 1722, not a single statue was left standing on its platform. The skyline of giants had been completely wiped out. The island had become a ghostly, silent graveyard of fallen idols and smoking ruins, a stark testament to a society that collapsed from within. Sharp obsidian weapons were left rusting in the dirt, the remnants of a desperate struggle for survival on a rock that could no longer support life. Every single Moai you see lying face down today is a literal monument to human rage, a physical footprint of the night the paradise finally died. The violent waves of the Pacific continued to smash against the dark cliffs, washing away the blood, the ash, and the memory of a great empire. From a distance, Easter Island looked like a burning black scar on the blue surface of the ocean, a world that had successfully committed suicide. Today, Easter Island is a quiet, beautiful national park. Some of the statues have been carefully lifted back onto their platforms, standing silently under the golden sun. But the deeper mysteries remain unsolved. Along with the statues, archaeologists found strange wooden tablets covered in an advanced hieroglyphic script called Rongo Rongo. Despite centuries of intense scientific study, not a single linguist on Earth has been able to decipher its meaning. It is a dead language, holding the final words of a lost world. As the heavy night falls over the Pacific, the stars of the Milky Way galaxy illuminate the giant stone faces of Rapa Nui. The full moon aligns perfectly with their stone brows, making them look like cosmic sentinels waiting for an answer from the deep universe. They still stand on the edge of the world, staring deeply inland at a barren, treeless landscape they helped destroy, frozen in an eternity of quiet regret. But look at our modern world today. Look at our giant concrete megacities, our industrial factories, and our smoke-filled skies. Are we really any different? We are sacrificing our own global environment for the sake of our modern obsessions. Look at the rainwater dripping from this stone eye. It looks exactly like a tear for humanity. Easter Island isn't just an ancient mystery. It is a terrifying giant mirror, showing us our own future if we refuse to change our path. As we fly high above the clouds, this tiny rock disappears into the endless, cold expanse of the Pacific Ocean, a silent tombstone in the water. Do you believe the Rapa Nui were driven to madness by environmental collapse? Or is there a darker, hidden, secret mainstream history is still hiding from us? Leave your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to Mystery Videos for more deep dive investigations, and click the next video on your screen to keep searching for the hidden truth.